Hello my crafty friend. I'm really excited about today's pour. I'm going to be showing you how to do what they call a dirty pour. And we're going to be using the metallic color in this one. So I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I do. I have absolutely fallen in love with this technique. And I'm also going to be using some of the jewels that we made in the last resin video. So let's get started, shall we? Buckle your seatbelts. Let's get crafting. Before we get started, I just wanted to show you something real quick, and it's only because I never knew that this existed, and it's actually something that solves a huge problem that I've had. So the other day was Amazon Prime Day, and I was checking things out, seeing if there was any deals on resin stuff, and I came across a leveling board. I had no idea that these existed, and I got super excited because one of the issues that I end up having is that my resin that I want it to be straight across, I put it on a surface that I think is level, but then once it dries, it's just a little bit thicker on one side than it is the other side. Just an awesome find. I was so glad I found it, so I wanted to share it with you guys. And I will put a link in the description if you decide this is something that you'd like as well. Just so you can be able to find it real quick. And I am not sponsored by Let's Resin. They are just coming out with some really cool stuff. What we're gonna do now is get our little display put back together. So it comes with this little mat that you can put back on it. I'm gonna go ahead and mix up the resin, and we're going to be using Let's Resin metallic powder. I'm gonna use the rustic gold because it's for a sword, dagger, and then I got the resin dye paste, which creates a really opaque white. It's just a real solid white. And I got one for black too. I'll show you guys. There's a black. And I'll show you one of the projects I've actually done. So I made this out of the white and the black, and you can see it works really good for getting that like stone-like color, because it's a very solid black and a very solid white. But this is the dirty pour that I was talking about, and we're gonna do this with gold, white, and clear. Alright, I've mixed up some resin here, and then I'm gonna split it into two different cups to add. I'm gonna do a white and a gold. I don't want a ton of either one, and I do want to keep some of the clear as well. Just going to do about 1/4 of a cup on both of them. That leaves me about 1/2 cup of the clear. I'll be adding some of the rustic gold metallic powder into one of them. And then I'm going to take my white paste, and I'm not going to use a lot because I don't want it to be a really thick white. I want it to be like somewhat translucent. So I'm just gonna add a couple drops there. I'll go ahead and get the white stirred up to make sure it's the consistency that I want. You'll see that came out pretty white, but I think it's still gonna mix well when I do the clear and the gold, because it's still just a little bit translucent there. And the gold's gonna end up pretty metallic. I really like these powders. This and the chameleon powders are some of my favorite that Let's Resin does. So after I stirred the resin, I went ahead and let it sit for about 10 minutes to thicken up a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and let this sit for about another 5 or so minutes. It'll allow some of the bubbles to come to the top, and it'll make it a little bit thicker. That way when I pour it together, it's not going to mix, it's not going to blend too much, because I still want kind of distinct colors in there. Alright, I've let it sit for a little bit, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another cup and I'm just going to pour. So I'm going to start with a little bit of clear. And I don't want like a ton of both these colors. And I'm going to use a toothpick to put some of the white and some of the gold into the mix here. So just get some on the toothpick, put it in there, and you want it random. And you want to wipe your toothpick between the swipes. I'm just kind of putting a random pattern in there. But if I pour the white straight into it, then it's going to make more white than I really want to be in there. Then I'm going to do the same with the gold. And like I said, just doing random swipes. Then I'm going to pour some more clear over that. And then I'm going to pour some white over top of that. Just a thin layer of white, and then I'll add the gold to that. And you can do this in any kind of layering you want to do. And each piece comes out unique this way too. I think it's pretty cool. And then I'm going to do another layer of clear. Then I'm going to do a layer of gold and swipe the white through that. Then I'm just going to keep doing layers like this. And it is all very random. And I just love the effect that it gives. Then you can also pour the different layers and then run the toothpick through it.
I'm just pouring the last little bit here. I have a little bit of each color left, but my hand gets in the way, so we're just going to do a quick cut over so you don't have to watch my hand this whole time. Alright, now we get to pour it.
And see, it's just going to create random designs. And what I want to do is I want to pour a base layer and then move the mold around to make sure I get the bubbles out of it. That is one thing I still struggle with, is the bubbles. That's why I bought the bubble removal machine. But I'll be honest, it doesn't help all that much. So I'm just going to take it and kind of move it around, try to get any trap bubbles out if there are any. And I don't want to mess up the pattern, so I'm trying to be careful not to mix anything. And I'll do a quick blast with the heat gun just for any bubbles that come to the top. Alright, and then we're going to do the pour again. Alright, it looks like I didn't quite have enough. So I'm just gonna have to pour a little bit more to finish this off. And I think actually what I'm gonna do is just more white with just streaks of gold to be like the top layer. I think that'll be cool. Alright, I mixed up some more white and gold, and this one is almost full. It just needs the tiniest little layer on top. So instead of pouring more on top, I'm just going to use the white and I'm going to do like little streaks through it. I think that'll look super awesome on the outside. So I'm just doing like little random streaks. And then I'll use the toothpick on it. I'm trying to get it filled up to the top. There it goes. Alright. Let's do a little bit more down here. And then I'm just going to take the toothpick, just kind of streak it like that. You gotta be very careful when you're using a toothpick on your molds because you don't want to scratch your mold. I've done that before. You can't get the scratch out of it. So I'm doing like just the very top, not even touching the inside of the mold. that looks so cool. Alright. And then for the top layer on this one, I'm gonna do a combination of white with just streaks of gold. So that way there's more white than there is gold. So just gonna pour some white. I'm just using the same cup I did before. So I'm just using the toothpick to streak the gold into the white. I'm just gonna do this in layers. Right, then I'm just gonna pour this for that last layer there. See, it's only letting a little bit of the gold in there. So I think I'm gonna use a little bit more gold streak. Add just a little bit more. That mixed a little more than I would have preferred. I didn't let it set for long enough. So what I'm gonna do to add a little more of the gold streak, like we have the streak through here, is do the same but opposite of what we did over there. This time I'm just gonna use the toothpick instead of drizzling first. Sometimes I don't know when to stop. I'm having a lot of fun though. All right. And if you're liking the way this is turning out, if you like using this kind of method, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe. We're going to do more in the future. So I'm really excited about this one. All right, and now I'm just going to clean up the little spots on the outside that I got there. And then we'll let this sit for 24 hours and then come right back to it. All right, these have dried. They're not all the way dry, so I'm going to still wear gloves because they're still kind of bendy. But they're dry enough to take out of the mold. So let's see how they turned out. I get excited about these too because you never really know what it's going to look like. Especially with these dirty pours. I really love the way the back turned out. So there's one piece. Oh, cool. I really like the way this one did with the, you can have the separation of the colors there. Okay, that one's really neat. This one blended just a little bit too much. I mean, it's still cool. It just blended too much. This one though. So this is the base piece, and then this piece goes on top. Now I'm going to use these, and I'm just going to use it on the top piece, and I want to put a couple of the gems on the hilt of the sword or dagger, whatever you want to call it. I'll just take this piece, and what I'm going to use for this one, I'm not going to use the epoxy resin, I'm going to use the UV resin. And these are kind of see-through, so they're going to work well with the UV resin because it needs the UV light to cure. So it's going to stick on there. And I think I gotta figure out what colors I want. I haven't decided yet. Oh, that's kind of cool. I think I'll do the green on this one. I think that looks the best. So what I'm gonna do is just take some of the UV resin. And I did get the Let's Resin one. And it's the kit for bonding. So this will bond it to this really well. And I'm just gonna put a drop of resin where I want the crystal to be. Okay, there's a little bubble in there, so I'm trying to get rid of the bubble. I'm trying to pop it. Alright, I want it facing like that. And I want to make sure it's centered where I want it before I do the UV light. Right about there. Alright, this is 5-second curing. And then I do the same on the other one. Right in the middle there. There, I think that's perfect. All right, and it is stuck. Check it out. Okay, that looks really good. I really like this. How cool is that? And then you'll just put your dice in there. So there it is. Dirty pour, and then using the UV resin to bond the resin on the resin. How cool is that? Alright, and we will be doing more dirty pours in the future. Gonna be trying out like a marble look and different kinds of gemstones. And leave a comment if you have a favorite pour that you like to do like this. Alright, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye!